Imagine being one shot away from golf's biggest prize, tied for the lead at the US Open, only to be told you can't even compete in the playoff? Today, we're diving into one of golf's most controversial rulings that destroyed a man's dreams and changed championship history forever. June 10th, 1940, Canterbury Golf Club in Cleveland, Ohio. The final round of the US Open is about to begin, but dark storm clouds are gathering on the horizon. What happens next will spark a controversy that golf historians still debate today. Ed Oliver, a talented professional from Massachusetts, stands on the first tee, tied for the championship lead. In just 4 hours, his decision to start playing early will either make him a champion or cost him everything. This is the story of how 18 holes played in fear of a thunderstorm became golf's most debated disqualification. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some say Ed Oliver was robbed of his rightful place in golf history. Let's set the stage. The 1940 US Open was already shaping up to be a classic. After 3 rounds, 3 men were deadlocked at the top of the leaderboard. Ed Oliver, known for his powerful swing and competitive fire, Lawson Little, the defending British amateur champion trying to conquer professional golf, and Gene Sarazen, already a legend with 6 major championships to his name. Canterbury Golf Club was playing tough that week. The rough was thick, the greens were firm, and now Mother Nature was about to add another challenge. Weather reports were calling for severe thunderstorms to roll through Cleveland that Sunday afternoon. In 1940, weather delays weren't handled like they are today. There were no sophisticated radar systems, no clear protocols. Tournament officials were flying blind, and the players knew it. Sunday morning arrives with an ominous sky. Ed Oliver looks at those storm clouds and makes a calculation that will haunt him forever. If the weather hits during his afternoon tee time, his round could be interrupted, postponed, or worse, played in dangerous conditions. So Oliver approaches tournament officials with a simple request. Can I start early? Can I get ahead of this storm and complete my round in fair conditions? Here's where the story gets murky. Some accounts say officials gave verbal approval. Others claim Oliver never got explicit permission. What's certain is that Ed Oliver, along with his playing partner, decided to tee off nearly an hour ahead of their scheduled time. At approximately 1:00 p.m., with storm clouds building, Ed Oliver struck his opening drive of what he hoped would be his championship round. He had no idea he was about to play himself right out of golf history. For the next 4 hours, Oliver played some of the best golf of his life. Hole after hole, he battled not just the challenging Canterbury layout, but increasingly difficult weather conditions. He navigated the tricky par 4 fifth hole, birdied the long par 5 seventh, made crucial par save on the back 9. With each shot, Oliver thought he was securing his place in the playoff, or maybe even winning the championship outright. And his gamble seemed to pay off. The storm that he feared? It hit Canterbury Golf Club right around the time he would have been starting his round if he had stuck to the original schedule. Other players were dealing with rain delays, standing water, and deteriorating conditions. Oliver finished his round in conditions that, while challenging, were far more playable than what the later groups faced. He signed a scorecard believing he had made a smart, strategic decision. He was about to learn how wrong he was. As Oliver walked off the 18th green, tournament officials were huddling. The United States Golf Association faced a dilemma they'd never encountered before. What do you do when a player completes his final round but started it without proper authorization? The conversation that followed would become legendary in golf circles. USGA officials informed Ed Oliver that his final round score would not count. He was disqualified from the championship. The reason? Starting his round early without official permission violated tournament rules. It didn't matter that he was trying to avoid dangerous weather conditions. It didn't matter that he had posted a legitimate score. The rules were the rules. In an instant, Ed Oliver went from being tied for the US Open lead to being completely eliminated from the championship. Lawson Little and Gene Sarazen play their playoff the next day, while Oliver could only watch from the sidelines. The golf world erupted. Newspapers across the country debated the ruling. Was this justice served, or a talented golfer robbed of his destiny? Oliver's supporters argued he was a victim of unclear communication and poor weather management. His critics claimed he broke a fundamental rule of tournament golf. You play when you're scheduled to play, period. Meanwhile, Lawson Little defeated Gene Sarazen in his playoff to claim the championship. But even Little's victory was overshadowed by the controversy. Would Oliver have won if he had been allowed to compete? We'll never know. For Ed Oliver, this wasn't just about one tournament. This was about legacy. He would go on to win several PGA Tour events, but never another major championship. The 1940 U.S. Open became the defining what-if of his career. The Ed Oliver controversy changed golf forever. The USGA implemented clearer protocols for weather delays and early starts. Never again would a player face such ambiguous circumstances in a major championship. Today's players benefit from sophisticated weather tracking, clear communication systems, and established procedures for handling delays. What happened to Ed Oliver simply couldn't happen in the modern game. But the debate continues among golf historians. Some view Oliver as a rule breaker who deserved his punishment. Others see him as a victim of poor tournament management who was unfairly penalized for making a reasonable decision. Canterbury Golf Club still hosts tournaments today, and old-timers still tell the story of the golfer who lost a championship before the playoff even began. Ed Oliver's disqualification from the 1940 U.S. Open remains one of golf's most controversial rulings, a reminder that in sports, sometimes following your instincts can cost you everything. What do you think? Was justice served, or was Oliver robbed of his shot at glory? If you enjoyed this deep dive into golf history, hit that subscribe button for more untold stories from the fairway. Thanks for watching.